Hey, how's it going? Today I am talking about mistakes that you may be doing that are keeping you injured. This is Running to the Castle, a podcast for injury-prone Run Disney runners on a journey to running magical miles. Join me, Dr. Allie, as I share the secrets I've gathered as a runner, doctor of physical therapy, and coach. You'll learn the exact ways I get my clients to the castle strong without feeling broken or held together with KT tape as they cross the finish line. Now, I'm going to preface this with today's episode is a list. I will go into more detail about these in individual podcast episodes or kind of group common ones together. Today, it's really just a list. And I made a reel about this the other day, and somebody sent me a DM and was like, oh, is that really it? Just like those 3 things? If I cover those things, I'm good? And I was like, no, these are the 3 that I could fit in this 7-second reel. So what I thought about was, well, how many are there really? So I made a list. I don't know. I sat down 5 minutes and just whatever came to my head. So this is not an all-inclusive list. Please, this is not an all-inclusive list. I will find more in my head in the days to come. I will make this podcast episode again and longer. For now, this is what could come up in my head while I was sitting and just jotting down what came about. So I will also say that you are going to notice some common themes, and I'm going to kind of wrap it up and talk about it. But this episode's not going to be super long because, like I said, it's a list of things that you could be doing that are the reason you're still injured. Okay, so here we go. Mistakes that you may be making that are keeping you injured. Running more than 10% each week. Doubling up on miles after taking time off. Resting when you don't need to. Switching out shoes you think are causing an injury. Wearing new shoes for too long of a run. Skipping rest days. Skipping cross training. Strength training too much. Strength training too little. Stretching before a run. Skipping the warm-up, using foam roller as a warm-up, skipping out on your fueling during a run, skipping out on your fueling after a run, skipping out on your fueling after a strength workout, relying on massage too much, relying on massage too little, running too fast on your long run, running the same pace for all of your runs, trying to PR every time you run, running too far on your first run back after a break, running too far on your first run ever, relying on a foam roller to stretch you out, skipping a hot Epsom salt bath, skipping a cold plunge, using heat when it should be cold, using cold when it should be heat, skipping the cool down, and using strength as pain relief. So like I told you, this is a list and it's a short episode, but what you may have noticed is there are contradictory things on this list. I mean, I said strength training too much and strength training too little. I said relying on massage too much, relying on massage too little. Using heat when it should be cold, using cold when it should be heat. So you'll notice there are commonalities here that it could be one or the other. It could be both. And I wanted to make that point because you'll see if you ask Facebook groups what you should be doing to heal your injury or prevent injury, you're going to see somebody who says, oh, you need to strength train. You're going to see somebody else who says you need new shoes. You're going to see somebody else who says that you need to stretch before a run. No, you need to stretch after a run. No, you need a foam roll. No, you need a massage. No, massage didn't help. You need to scrape. It's a yes and. Because Maybe that worked for one person, but it's not going to work for you right now. Maybe it worked for you in the past, but it's not going to work for you right now because your injuries could be different. You could have pain at different times related to your run, whether it be in the beginning, the middle, the end of a run, or not during a run at all, and it happens later in the day or a few days later. Maybe you just have pain at night that keeps you up. Maybe you have no pain at rest, but it's only with activity, or maybe it's with certain activity or certain movements, or, all of these special cases. And it's not a one size fits all. It's not even the same thing can help the same person months or years down the line, because it could be different. And that's where getting somebody from an outside perspective, looking at all of the features, that's where they come in. That's why physical therapists exist, because they look at all of these features. Physicians don't even look at all of the aspects. When was the last time a physician asked you, well, when during the run does it hurt? Or with what specific movement? What time of day? Does it hurt when you do this but not this? What about when you try this instead of that? This one strength exercise instead of that one, or this one way of stretching instead of that way, to try really hone in on what's going on. And so that's where getting the outsider's perspective, the professional's perspective, but the right professional. So the whole point of this episode with this list is there are so many factors. So keep that in mind when you're looking to go train and go run. Make it feel like you're not broken, right? And you're not held together with KT tape. And keep this in mind for when you try the different things, because I know you're trying the different things. You're trying the foam rolling. You're trying, a new strength workout. You're trying to stretch before you run. And if those things aren't working, it could be keeping you injured. And also it could just be tweaks that need to be made that you don't know about, that Joe Schmo down the street doesn't know about, that Susie Q neighbor doesn't know about, right? So that is not an all-inclusive list of mistakes you may be making that could be keeping you injured. As always, thanks so much for listening. If you have a question, send me a DM. You can find me on Instagram, runDisneyDPT. That's all for now. Talk to you soon.